There will always be a need for innovation in cyber, and there will always be space for new companies to bring best-of-breed solutions to market.
I'm John Generone, editor-in-chief of Tech Edge. Thrilled to be here in San Francisco, California at RSA 2025. I have with me right here Leo Taddeo, who's the CEO of Appgate. Leo, thanks for joining the program.
Thanks, John. Appreciate it.
So, Leo, before we get into some of the industry dynamics and so on I want to talk about, can you tell us a bit about Appgate and what the company's all about?
Right. So Appgate is a best-of-breed, zero-trust network access provider. We have Fortune 100 customers. We have DoD customers. We provide secure user access, fine-grained control from the user to the application, and we do it at scale. We have a unique architecture. We're direct routed, which means we have higher throughput, better scalability, and better resilience at a lower cost. And our customers are responding to those differentiators in a way that enables us to grow the company and provide better security services.
Great. Now, Leo, something that I've heard some whispers about is that, and it's not just within your industry, all across the board, budgets are a little tighter. People are being a little more cautious about spending.
Yeah.
But this is pretty important stuff. So
yeah.
how does that impact your world? Are you seeing companies, tighten the belt, or are they still making this a big priority?
We have not seen that.
Okay,
we understand that the macros may be negative in the next few quarters, but cybersecurity continues to be a priority with escalating geopolitical tensions and more sophisticated in criminal hacking groups. The impact on the customer base is significant, and it's gaining attention on the board, and it's gaining attention in the budget cycle, and we haven't seen a pullback yet. Now, that may change in the next couple of quarters, but right now we're seeing the same interest and the same spending that we did before.
That makes sense. I'm kind of curious. You were talking about some of these very big clients that you have.
Yeah.
What about smaller companies? Maybe you've only got a handful of people, but you're a hedge fund or something,
right.
And you might seem small, but there's a lot at stake, right? So can you work with those guys too?
Well, smaller companies, smaller businesses need cybersecurity just as much as big companies. The stakes may be even higher because they don't have the ability to recover.
Oh, yeah.
Our go-to-market for the smaller companies is through managed service providers.
Okay.
So our route to market is through a partner that has those relationships with the dentists, the chiropractors, the beauty shops.
Yeah.
And those folks benefit from higher security, but they do so through a managed service provider.
Thanks for spelling that out and not saying MSP,
yeah.
because sometimes you're going to lose people.
Yes.
Remember, these are not all cybersecurity experts. Our audience, you guys are pretty smart, but you're not all experts at cybersecurity.
For sure.
So one thing that I'm curious about is if you look at setting aside a budget for cybersecurity, how do you calculate the return on investment? It's kind of like, well, okay, we didn't get attacked, and
right.
so that's good, but it's a little bit tricky. How do you, and is that something you try to walk clients through?
Right. Well, you're absolutely right about budgets having to be tied to ROI. We're seeing CFOs and CIOs ask more about the ROI component of value. The way it has been looked at traditionally is, well, we didn't have a bad thing happen.
Yeah.
And that's hard to put
right.
a quantitative analysis around.
Yeah, so what's the numerator denominator there? I don't know.
We've gotten smarter about articulating value in terms of replacing legacy tools
yeah.
and eliminating unnecessary costs
okay.
and promoting worker productivity. So if the user experience is better, if the worker can connect reliably and do their jobs consistently, that's an ROI that can be quantified. If we can eliminate a legacy hardware or software stack, that's an ROI that can be quantified. And if we can eliminate a cost, for example, a transport cost, by making the routing more efficient, that's also an ROI we can quantify.
Great. Can you tell us, our viewers, and I don't want to get into alphabet soup once again, zero trust network asset, let's just call it zero trust.
Right.
Can you tell us about how that's become critical to a lot of your clients to have that in place?
Right. So we protect the most critical assets within a customer space. So you think of a worker, when they go to work in the morning, they're doing a number of things. One of them is connecting to SaaS applications on the internet,
yeah.
things like Salesforce. The other part of their job involves connecting to applications that the company runs themselves within data centers or within virtual environments.
Yeah.
Appgate's role is to secure the connections to the private applications. So those are usually the ones that contain some of the most sensitive intellectual property, customer information, sensitive customer PII and health information.
Yeah.
And so those connections are reliably and securely enabled by a ZTNA solution.
Yeah.
So we can take the user to the application in a fine-grained control, in a performant way that is cost-effective.
Leo, I might have asked you this as the first question, but I'm going to ask you now. Tell me a bit about your background. You were working in the public sector at the FBI.
Yes.
Tell us about your experience there and making the leap into the private world.
So I spent most of my career as a FBI special agent. I ended my career in the cyber program. I was running the Cyber and Special Operations Division in New York. I left the Bureau in 2015 after seeing what this technology was able to do.
Yeah.
So as in my role as an FBI agent, I saw how hackers were exploiting credentials, entering infrastructure, and conducting attacks using lateral movement. When I discovered the power of ZTNA, of software-defined perimeter, I realized that this was a way for me to transition into the commercial sector and continue to keep our customers and keep our country safe. It's been a great journey for me. This technology has evolved and it's become more accepted and deployed.
Yeah.
And we're seeing the market really pivot towards the concepts of direct routed architecture and the fine-grained control that ZTNA provides.
Leo, I really appreciate that background. It's very interesting, and it makes me wonder, you must have had a great view into who the bad guys were.
Yes.
So for our viewers who wonder, who are all these guys, staging these cyber attacks? Are we talking about the likes of North Korea, or could this be teenagers in their parents' basement? Who are these bad guys?
It's sort of both, and it's evolved over time. When I was running the Special Operations and Cyber Division in New York, it was creative young people who were maybe politically motivated to hack a website. It's evolved into more of a nation state and organized group that are very well funded. If you're a nation state, it's an effective tool because it's not a direct confrontational. You don't want to sink a U.S. battleship, but if you can put a hospital out of commission, you can have an impact on the United States without having to be recognized as being responsible for it. So it's being more and more adopted, and countries like you mentioned, North Korea, Iran, China, and Russia, are investing resources. What is really scary is that there is now a very blurred line between the nation-state actor and the criminal actor, and those capabilities are being cross-pollinated, and we're seeing criminal actors with the same capabilities as nation-states. We're also seeing nation-states and criminal actors adopt AI tools to better and more efficiently attack our systems. So it's a very rapidly evolving landscape that is very well funded, and it takes AI, it takes teams, and it takes partnerships to protect against that kind of adversary.
Great. Now, Leo, for those watching us now who are not here, if you go downstairs, there are literally thousands of people down there. I don't know how many companies are exhibiting, but it's a ton.
Yes.
Do you see continued consolidation, or are we gonna? It just strikes me as there's so many down there, and if there is more consolidation, what does that mean for you guys? Because does that help you, or does it hurt you?
Right. There will be consolidation, but the attack surface is constantly changing. We like to say that the hacker has a vote in what we build. So we build out a new technology, the hacker figures out how to break it, and then we offer a security tool to prevent that kind of attack. And so there will always be a need for innovation in cyber, and there will always be space for new companies to bring best-of-breed solutions to market. As those best-of-breed solutions evolve, they become part of platforms, or they evolve to become platforms, and it's a great opportunity for innovation, for economic activity, for job creation, for investment. So it's a dynamic space. Unfortunately, it's solving a problem that continues to expand. As an American, I wish we didn't have this cyber problem. But the folks downstairs displaying are definitely working hard, inventing solutions, and making it harder for the bad guy every day.
All right, great. So last question, I'm going to kind of give you the floor here. Leo, what are you most excited about? Any new solutions or products you guys are going to launch this year? What are you spending most of your time on?
Yeah, I'm excited about the continued support from the U.S. government in enabling public-private partnerships and enabling investment. I'm excited about the workforce as we see new young and younger folks come into the space, bringing their new tools, their new ideas. I'm excited about the collaboration between vendors. You see competition, but you also see areas where we're sharing best practices. So I think it's a very healthy ecosystem. Very proud to be part of it. Very proud to be part of what you're doing and getting the message out.
All right, Leo, we're going to leave it there. This has been a
All right.
terrific interview. Thank you for joining the program.
Terrific.
Folks, this has been Leo Taddeo, who is the CEO of Appgate. I'm John Janarone, signing off from San Francisco.